What's up YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get daily competitive Pokemon TCG videos, so of course be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. We're going to be talking about what is being played currently in Japan. They are playing city leagues, and those city leagues actually are tournaments pretty similar to League Cups, but they are with 64 players, and that way we already know what's going to be popular when Destined Rivals are set, being released at the end of May, will actually contain. So the meta will be shaped up. We have Eaton's Pokemon and all that. Just note that the Team Rocket's Pokemon are not included yet because they only release on April 18th over in Japan, but we already will have a little bit of an insight of what cards will be good from Destined Rivals. That's actually in 2 months' time, so we have at the end of May, Destined Rivals, a very impactful set in the competitive scene. So now we're gonna have some inside, some future side. Let's just get ourselves going. So we're here on LiberalistTCG.com for the people that were wondering, and we're gonna have a sneak peek at what is being played. So we have first tournament over here, having a Gardevoir deck. So people thought that Gardevoir was actually dead after rotation, but it is not true. Gardevoir is now playing Brilliant Blender, and with Arvin you can easily find that. If you have your setup, you can easily evolve into, of course, your Gardevoir and accelerate those energies onto your Drifloon, Screamtail, or even the Lily's Clefairy. So no new cards from Destined Rivals in here, but we will know here that as Gardevoir is still going to be a powerhouse to be reckoned with. You can still have access to most of your cards here, and you will need something like Phasantipity and Mew EX to just draw if you get Iono to a low hand size, as we no longer have Refinement Curlia. There is a very cool Tyranitar out here, and this Tyranitar actually comes packed with item lock. That means if Tyranitar is in the active position, you have item lock going around. They are pairing it up with the Dunsparce for draw engine, and you also have the Budu. So pretty much this deck aims to just item lock the opponent until the rest of the game, because you start off with a Budu, and then evolve into your Tyranitar, also coming back with the neutralization zone. If the opponent doesn't have outs for that, your Tyranitar will actually give up no prizes, which is kind of crazy. You have Super Rod and Night Stretcher for some recovery, and with the Luxurious Escape, you're turning your Tyranitar into a 290 HP monstrosity. So yeah, it's a very cool deck. I don't know if it's on the rogue category, most likely, because I don't see this deck actually like spiking any tournaments, but this is very cool to see a Tyranitar item lock deck. Then there is an Archelon poison package. This is something you will see more often with the stadium to, of course, get yourself some additional poison damage onto your opponent. So that means with Binding Mochi and that Jungle Stadium card, you're actually going to be slapping a ridiculous amount of damage with Metal Defender. So first, with Binding Mochi, you're at 260. With the poison of the Brood Bonnet, that's 270, and because of the jungle, you're at 290. So it's kind of crazy to think that, Archelon now has found the poison package to be, its best friend. So as mentioned, the 290, and if you then play a Kieran, you're at 320. The perfect number to knock out stuff like a Dragapult EX, for example. So very cool to see Archelon with the poison package. Now we're seeing something unique here. We have Gholdengo with Typhlosion, Eaton's Typhlosion, might I add. Eaton's Typhlosion is a cool card, allowing you to slap 40 damage plus 60 more for every Eaton's Adventure card in your discard pile. And we also have the Eaton's Quilava. Once they're in your turn, you may search your deck for an Eaton's Adventure card and put it in hand. So that's pretty much the deck. I don't know why they are pairing Gholdengo up with almost anything in the game. Currently, we've seen Gholdengo with Dragapult, we've seen Gholdengo with some other Pokemon. Now we're seeing it with Eaton's Typhlosion. I wonder why they are choosing this as the secondary partner. It's very cool because Eaton's Typhlosion can pack quite the punch, and because you're playing Superior Energy Retrieval, it's actually super nice to, of course, get those Eaton's cards in the discard pile, so you can then slap for huge damage with Eaton's Typhlosion. So very cool deck for sure. You have a very strong one-prize Pokemon, and Gholdengo being able to one-shot anything in the game is nice. We have Levincia Stadium card as well to get your lightning energies back in a pitch. So very, very cool to see Typhlosion here, one of the Destined Rivals cards that's going to be actually having an impact on the game, and this is actually being paired up with Gholdengo of all things. That was actually being played in Kanagawa. Now let's go to the north of Japan and Hokkaido. The Ogre-pon, yeah, with Raging Bolt deck has been doing well. This is actually a deck that I recently did a deck profile on. No new cards from Destined Rivals, but you do see that this archetype is getting first place from time to time, so it's still very strong. Very similar to the deck that I actually posted before. So if you want to learn more about this deck in general, there is of course a video on my channel for that. But Raging Bolt, Bellowing Thunder, high damage output, now playing the Noctowl engine with Jewel Seeker to get any 2 trainers from the deck quite easily is going to really help out for the consistency. I think this deck wants to be going first most of the time these days, so cool. Raging Bolt. Then we have a Cerulege deck. This Cerulege deck is actually playing 1 Armor Rouge, which can switch around some energies, and playing Luminous Energy and Darkness Energy as well. Did you know is that this actually needs Fire, Psychic, and Metal, so that's actually not gonna happen here, but because you're playing the Armor Rouge, you can transfer around some of your energies. Could be interesting for sure. You also have access to the Monkey Dory here, which can allow you to put some damage from yourself to the opponent. You have the Briar for additional prizes, and this is playing the Rebel Room, discarding an energy from hand, and then draw until you have 6 cards in hand. So yeah, it's actually, we don't have Radiant Greninja, we don't have Pokestop, but the deck still finds a way to do well at tournaments. Next, we have a Froslass Badoo deck. We do see some new cards here, so that's cool. Shaymin. Shaymin, very impactful card, being a Manaphy successor, because we no longer have Manaphy in the post-rotation format, but with Destined Rivals, we will have Shaymin, pretty balanced card, not searchable with Buddy Puffin, but also protects only your non-rule box Pokemon from bench damage. So it's gonna help out some of these cool-looking one-prize decks for sure, and there's also this Maractus, which is already legal in the Journey Together set, so that's interesting. Actually, Journey Together will become legal at April 11th, if I'm not mistaken, so we still have to wait a little bit until we see some results over here in the Western League Cups and all that, or in regional tournaments, but this is going to be the Froslass Badoo deck, also a deck that I talked about in my top 10 best rogue decks in the Journey Together set, so a very, very cool archetype. You have the TM Devo, you're going to be spreading so much damage with the Froslass, and you have item lock by your side as well. So yeah, I love to see the innovation right there. Then there is another Gholdengo Typhlosion, Eaton's Typhlosion build. So it seems that this is not a joke, but is actually quite viable over in Japan. So we're going to be seeing more of this, and we've already talked about it in the last tournament. So now going to Tokyo, let's see what we find here. It's an Archelon with a Dunsparce lineup. So as a way, we have the Dunsparce to draw cards, but also a Dunsparce EX. If the opponent is not careful with their EX amount, you can slap a ridiculous amount of damage for a cardless energy. You have the Black Belt, 2 copies in here for more damage output, and there's even a Maximum Belt on top of that. If you pair that all together, Maximum Belt and Black Belt will allow you to slap 90 damage to the opponent's EX, and that's going to be capping yourself all the way to 310. But Maximum Belt, the Dunsparce and Black Belt combos could also cause some really crazy shenanigans. So yeah, Archelon, get yourself some copies, it's going to be pretty good. We see a Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. This actually allows you, if you evolve it, to search your deck for 5 basic Darkness Energies and attach it to your Marnie's Pokemon in any way you like. Slaps 180 and 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So in combination with all of that, you also come back with the Marnie's Morpeko, 40 damage for every Darkness Energy attached to this Pokemon with a 20 base, so you can stack like a ton of energies on as a one-prize Pokemon. You have Energy Recycler, we have Turo, so wow, this is very cool to see, and we even have the Stadium here. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a Marnie's Pokemon, put it in the hand, so that helps a lot with consistency for sure. So also very nice to see a rogue deck like this. It's not going to be that great, but it actually was able to perform. Next is going to be Cynthia's Garchomp EX. Very awesome to see this paired up with Froslass and the Badoo. We have Monkey Dory, put some damage from yourself onto the opponent. We have Froslass, which can damage Pokemon with abilities, which is awesome every time between turns, which is awesome. Garchomp, you can slap 100 damage and draw cards until you have 6 cards in hand from just 1 energy. And then for 2 energies, you can slap 260. So 260 might not seem like a lot, but if you pair that up with like some Froslash residual damage, you can definitely get to some crazy numbers. Note to self is that we do have this Cynthia's Power Weight, allowing you to have yourself 70 additional HP, putting Cynthia's Garchomp all the way to a 400 HP tank, and with that you're gonna be surviving almost all the hits out there, meaning if you're able to use every Garchomp for at least like 2 attacks, you're gonna be yeah, in a very good position, definitely with some Froslass doing the heavy lifting as well, and Monkey Dories as well. So cool, awesome deck to see for sure. Then we have the classic Dragapult Dusknoir, also a deck that I recently talked about on the channel in the deck profile, so nothing new under the horizon here, no new cards from Destined Rivals. So the only new cards we currently did see is that Cynthia's Garchomp deck. We also saw that Eaton's Typhlosion, but there will be more cards that we're going to be talking about. I'm only talking about the top 4s in the City League results, so note to self. There was another tournament over in Tokyo, also won by Archelon, so Archelon is a mainstay here. This is the Poison package, playing pack with 2 Squawkabilly and the Patran, so that means that you can donk people. This is very, very scary because we have the Jungle, the Patran, the Barutbanat. You can donk, yeah, weak HP Pokemon, which is gonna be something like Cyndaquil, Gimmighoul, Ralts, all that. You can just donk them with Archelon now with an archetype like this. So invest in a couple of these jungles because, yeah, they will actually be very popular in the Archelon archetype moving forward. Raging Bolt, coming back with 1 copy of the Zarude. Don't even know why it's in there. But yeah, we have a Zarude allowing you to slap 160. But it needs a lot of energies, by the way. So I don't know if you will ever use something like this. It's very interesting. We have the Cycling Road, which helps out discarding an energy. Actually discarding an energy from the hand in order to draw a card. So that's going to be something that people also might want to use with Raging Bolt for some additional speed, even though this actually is a version with some extra, like we have 3 Crispin and 4 Soda, meaning you want to attack on the very first turn going second, and that's pretty much what the deck does. And with the Crispin you can power up the Zarude if you want to. Zarude capping out at 160, so if there's anything that is weak to grass, you still don't get the Charizard numbers, but Charizard seems to be on an all-time low in popularity these days. We have a very funky Dragapult EX with Ogie Dogie, believe it or not, because you do play the Crispin, you can get some crazy combos going with Ogie Dogie. You have the Iron Thorns as well to slow the opponent down, and the Precious Trolley as well. So funky stuff happening over in Japan. We have a Gholdengo Scizor. So instead of relying on the Eaton's Typhlosion for some additional damage output, or yeah, an alternate attacker in the deck, you do see the Scizor, and you will see more and more Levincia Stadium cards in Gholdengo to, of course, get the lightning energies back. This actually is playing Prime Catcher and no Energy Search Pro, which I currently am not a big fan of. I'm a big fan of the Energy Search Pro in Gholdengo. Kanagawa tournament up next. Let's see what they're coming back with. We have a Raging Bolt with the Noctowl package, something we've seen before, did talk about it briefly on the channel already. So we have a Gardevoir setup. This is actually playing Unfair Stamp, believe it or not. So they're playing a high amount of research to complement the fact that they want to discard the energies. So we have a high amount of Earthen Vessel, high amount of Ultra Ball, high amount of research, and instead of going for that very, very powerful Brilliant Blender, they're actually going for Unfair Stamp. So Gardevoir still alive, and there's even another yeah, Gardevoir here. This actually is incorporating the Brilliant Blender. So Gardevoir still alive, post-rotation, people. I cannot stress it out enough. People were giving Gardevoir a bad time, but it is not true. Same goes for Roaring Moon. This is a Roaring Moon build relying on poison and also coming packed with yeah, the Salas Vitality and a couple of E-Switch. This is going to be pretty interesting because Roaring Moon can one-shot anything in the game with that Frenzied Gouging, and you can also come back with the Poison package to donk people. With the double Squawkabilly, it does make sense. So very cool to see a Roaring Moon actually winning a City League over in Japan. What else can we see? It's another Raging Bolt. We're not going to be taking a look at that. We're going to be taking a look at new archetypes. We have the Diplin deck. Really taken into effect here is that there is a new card in here, and they're actually going for the Robska method instead of going for anything like a Shaymin, because you see here is that the Robska protects also against Dragapult, and they are playing the double TM Evo build to get it going. We also see this Hydrapple. This Hydrapple is a card still need to get released. Discard 6 basic energies from your hand. If you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out instantly. So if you can collect enough energies, you can one-shot instantly. So that's actually an additional thing that the Diplin deck needed here to, of course, yeah, get some results here. We have the Max Rod as the ace pack card of choice. So Festival Lead is doing okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Next up, we're gonna go to Saitama. Or actually, did we already go? Yeah, we did go to Saitama already. Let's go to where we're gonna have Grimmsnarl. Marnie's Grimmsnarl. I still try to understand how this deck is so good. You do come back with a lot of energy acceleration. You can actually slap for 180, get a lot of energies into play, maybe do the double evolve into the Grimmsnarl, get all the energies on your Morpeko. Imagine you're having 8 energies here, that is actually going to be slapping a ridiculous amount of damage. So the little Morpeko here can do a lot of heavy lifting for sure. Also coming back with the Binding Mochi, you can slap more damage. That means that with the Petulant combo, your Grimmsnarl is going to be able to slap 220. So very unique stuff happening. A pure Eaton's Typhlosion deck. Coming back with the Shaymin to protect your low HP Pokemon, your non-rule box Pokemon. The Dunsparce as the draw engine, so we do see more and more people using the Dunsparce draw engine, so that's definitely a card you need post-rotation. We see Maximum Belt, and as you all know, if you can discard a lot of your Eaton's supporters here, you're going to be able to slap a lot of damage, as mentioned, for every Eaton's Adventure in your discard pile. You are actually able to slap 40 damage plus 60 more for every Eaton's Adventure card. So yeah, this Eaton Adventure card allows you to get 3 in any combination of Eaton's Pokemon and basic fight energy. So that's actually a very solid approach here. You are going to be able to slap 50 additional because of the Maximum Belt. So that's 90, then plus 60 for every Eaton's card in your discard pile. And the Clovas are able to get the Eaton's cards out of the deck. So very, very nice. We even have the Black Belt for additional damage output. So I wonder if this deck is legit. You also have Gravity Mountain here to reduce the Stage 2 Pokemon, their HP by 30. So interesting for sure. An exchange ticket as well, allowing you to, of course, shuffle your prize cards into the bottom of the deck. And then you can take all 6 cards from the top of your deck, and depending on how many prize cards are remaining. So you can reset your prizes, which is also something new in the post-rotation format. Alright, that was very cool to see. Okay, next up, we're going to Osaka, the city where everyone loves to party. We see here Dragapult, Dusknoir, classic build, but I do see here a Squawkabilly in the list, and the Prime Catcher, which is actually something you don't see very often in the Dragapult list. Most of the time you will see the Sparkling Crystal or the Unfair Stamp. Prime Catcher is a little bit more on the aggressive side, and there's also 3 Dusclops, so they want to blow up a lot of opponents quite quickly. Then we have Eaton's Typhlosion with the Zacian. So we have the Hops Zacian, Hops Cramorant, Hops Snorlax, the Hops Choice Band, and then the Pickwick Stadium card. So you're going to be able to attack with your Hops Zacian for a lot of damage. So if you take a look, you can go for a whopping 30 boost, 30 boost, 30 boost. That's going to be 120 damage to the active, 30 to the bench. And then you safely charge up your Typhlosion here in the back, waiting to just take a lot of revenge. So it's going to be a very crazy world where people are slapping like the Eaton's Typhlosion in a lot of decks out there. I wonder if we're going to be seeing more Destined Rivals cards. Here we have Cynthia's Garchomp EX with the Rose Raid. The Rose Raid allows you to actually attack with 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if you have 2 of these out, these actually stack. So that's going to mean that the Cynthia's Garchomp EX can slap for more damage than ever before. And you also come back with the Power Weights for 70 additional HP. So this is an archetype doing really, really okay over in Japan. We have Scoop Up Cyclone, which makes sense for such a ridiculous amount of hit points. I wonder why there are not more Turos in here, because I really think it's great. We also have the Gabite. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for Cynthia's Pokemon. So helping out with consistency as well. So yeah, Cynthia's Garchomp EX. I wonder if it's going to be a mainstay here. There's also a deck, even though it didn't get top 4. Let's talk about some other archetypes. We have here a Terapagos. Terapagos, the classic Terapagos with the Bufalance. There's still a Cornerstone in here and a Lily's Clefairy for some tech options, but other than that, it is going to be streamlined Terapagos, no Dusknoirs even, so we do see double Buffalant and some Turo action, but that's about it. But the Bravery Charms push this to a ridiculous amount of capabilities, and we do use the Glass Trumpet to power ourselves up and Crispin, so there's that. But I want to be talking about these Raging Ball with Ho-Oh EX. Eaton's Ho-Oh EX is also a new card. You may attach up to 2 basic fire energies from your hand to one of your benched Eaton's Pokemon. So yeah, you can just accelerate the fire energies onto your Eaton's Ho-Oh, and then you can slap ridiculous amounts of damage with Raging Bolt. So instead of going for the Ogerpons, which actually draw a lot of cards, this actually is incorporating the Eaton's Ho-Oh to just get a lot of stuff into play. So that's very cool to see. We're gonna be seeing a whole lot more of the incorporation of the Ho-Oh. Very cool to see. You can accelerate energies onto one of your bench Eaton's Pokemon to get them into play, and then Bellowing Thunder slaps a ridiculous amount of damage. This didn't get top 4, but it was definitely worth the mention. Let's go to Gifu, where we see Raging Bolt winning. Then an Archelon with the Hops Double. If you evolve into Hops Double, you have Boss's Orders in an ability, so very strong. That means you can get crazy combinations going between Gusting and Turo, Gusting with Black Belt, Gusting with Iono. Very strong, consistent Archelon list, which I am personally a big fan of. It's something I really want to be trying out here, is this kind of a version. Next up is going to be a Charizard deck. Still alive, I know. We have not seen that much Charizard as of late. This is playing the Heroescape and even a Luxurious Cape for the memes of it. Don't even know why you need that, but it's going to help out with your low HP Pokemon, I suppose, to have some durability. We have the Brock in here to either get 2 basic Pokemon or an evolution Pokemon from the deck. And we have still the Pidgeot line, a couple of TM Eevos as well. So Charizard still alive as well. This is also a deck that I really want to be shedding some light upon. Is going to be Crustle. Crustle is a new card, actually, that prevents all damage done to it by EX Pokemon. So it's actually like the successor of Mimikyu, but does come back with an attack which is able to slap 120 damage and goes through any effects on the opponent's Pokemon. And you're going to be able to, of course, wall out completely a lot of archetypes out there. You're using Crispin to power up the little Crustle here, but the Crystal will be very, very powerful with a Luxurious Cape, pushing it all the way to 250 HP without being able to get attacked by EX Pokemon. So very, very strong. You have some disruptive cards in here like the Xerosic and the Eerie. So very, very cool to see something like this. This actually didn't do too well in this tournament, but something I want to be showcasing as well. We have the Yamaguchi tournament where we see more Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. Still not convinced quite yet. We do see here the Survival Brace. If you ever get one shot, your remaining HP becomes 10 instead. And that's actually for the Marnie's Morpeko, which is going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So very cool. We also see the Blood Moon for the late game right there. Then a Charizard Pidgeot. Nothing too crazy here. Yeah. There is nothing too crazy about that tournament. There's another one in Tokyo. We want to be seeing some cool lists, right? This is Roaring Moon EX with the help of E-Switches, with the help of Professor Sada. I told you guys you should hang on to your Roaring Moon EXs, because Roaring Moon is a card that has something written on the card. You just automatically one-shot, which is always very, very good in the competitive scene. Okay, we see a little bit of a Flareon box here. It's a lot of evolution box. We have Flareon, Sylveon, Leafeon, all thrown together into one box with the Noctowl engine, even some Terrapagos and Wellspring action. A lot of Crispin and Sparkling Crystal combo. So yeah, we did see a little bit of Flareon in the Journey Together set and the Destined Rivals set. I don't even know how good it will be. We also see a very cool looking Blaziken. Blaziken EX with 4 Monkey Dory. So you do accelerate energies with the Blaziken EX. You can accelerate a basic energy from the discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So it doesn't state which one it has to be. That means you can accelerate energies to your Monkey Dory as well. So there's a Fairy Giraffe for some walling of the basic EX archetypes. And the Blaziken slaps 200 damage. So if you then get damaged, you can then get all the Monkey Dory action going. So very unique list that I also want to be showcasing. Alright, then we are going to this tournament. We had Gardevoir winning, then Raging Bolt, then Eaton's Typhlosion doing well. Alright, okay, we have not seen that much of the End Zoroark. This is the End Zoroark deck. This is also playing a Luxray. We are playing the Power Glass. That's the unique things I see, but most importantly, we will be able to use the Reversal Energy onto the Ensdar Manatan for a whopping snipe capabilities. Note that in this format, Japan is already having access to Shaymin, but we personally don't see that much action for Shaymin because it actually is not searchable with Buddy Poffin. So that is that. Okay, continuing on, there was actually 3 tournaments in Tokyo all together here. We have a Charizard, then a Dragapult, a Gardevoir, Alright, nothing too crazy. We've seen decklists like these before. Let's go back to Osaka. We see a Yanmega. This is actually super cool here because Yanmega, also a new card from Destined Rivals, allowing you to actually move to the bench, to the active spot. So once you may use this ability once during your turn. When this Pokemon moves from the bench to the active, you can search your deck for 3 basic grass energies and attach them to this Pokemon. So instantly finding the energies from the deck, and then you can actually slap for 210 and you can move 3 energies from this Pokemon to the bench Pokemon. Why is this important? You're going to be able to put the energies from the Yanmega EX all the way to the walling Crustle. The Crustle not being able to get attacked by EXs is huge. You have the Luxurious Cape for more HP, you have thorough capabilities, and there's also a very cool way where we can attack with Yanmega and put energies onto Regigigas. So in combination with a good, well-planned Iono, this could be doing miracles. So very cool to see Yanmega all the way at the top tables at a City League. Okay. Continuing on, we're going back to Tokyo. Of course we are. More Cynthia's hype here. Cynthia with Froslass. So either you go for Cynthia with Froslass or Cynthia with the fantastic Rose Rate for the damage output. This is actually super cool as you're having a lot of counter catcher in your list, and there is of course this Eaten Sudowoodo. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. So this is pretty much Mawile, right? This is Mawile, and you're going to be able to trap opponents. So if you thought with Snorlax block rotating that you were free from being trapped if you don't play any switch outs, think again. Okay, another tournament here. Let's see what we have here. We have Future Box. Is Future Box still good? I don't know. I have not tested this post rotation. We have Iron Crowns, we have Iron Hands. Iron Hands, as always, taking additional prize cards is very good. You can attack with the Miraidon with Peak Acceleration to set up an Iron Hands. That's really going to be helping out to go, you go second, you attack with the Peak Acceleration. The following turn, you then go for Iron Hands, take additional prizes, have Heavy Baton, load the other Iron Hands up, take more prizes like that. So this is something I really need to test out. Currently, I do not have any Iron Crowns, so I'm going to have to purchase a couple of these, but Future Box getting second place does feel pretty good. All right, continuing on. Dragapult with... Why is everyone like splashing all the decks together? This is playing the Shaymin, bench protection, super nice. Sparkling Crystal as the ace pack card of choice. We have the Eaton's Adventure, allowing you to get your Eaton's Pokemon or Fire Energies from the deck. And as soon as you have your Typhlosion up and ready to go, you have like 2 options you could go for. The cool news is that Eaton's Typhlosion can deal quite easily with Crussles, which are very hard to deal with for Dragapult. So you have a split line of double attackers. You can go either for Eaton's Typhlosion or go for the Dragapult EX. Okay, nothing crazy right there. So you do see, if you want to see a lot of these archetypes, it is definitely possible. Just go over to limitlesstcg.com and then you can find these Japanese results. A lot of Archelon. Let's see what this Archelon brings. It is the poison package, getting more and more popular. So definitely get that privileged jungle card while you're at it, because it hasn't seen that much play, but now because we did lose Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, it actually is seeing a lot of play. We also see in this tournament, we see a Ho-Oh's Eaton's Ho-Oh EX with Gouging Fire and the Armor Rouge. So what can this actually bring to the table is that Ho-Oh's Eaton's Ho-Oh gets energies into play, and Armor Rouge can put them on the Pokemon you want. You have Luminous Energy and Legacy Energy to make it happen, and you have all sorts of different types of attackers. You can attack with Iron Hands, you can attack with Wellspring, you can attack with the Lily's Clefairy, so very unique list for sure. I wonder what this Durant is in here for. Okay, this is in the late game. You can slap a lot of damage with Vengeful Crunch. Okay. And also, yeah, you can discard. Sometimes you can mill the opponent. Could be really funny indeed. Okay. Next up, in Chiba. Gardevoir, Dragapult, Raging Bull. So not a lot has changed post-rotation, it seems. And also with Destined Rivals, not too many crazy things. We do see that Ho-Oh gets play, as well as the Typhlosion, but all the rest of the cards of the set, like Cynthia, sometimes he plays his Cynthia with Rose Rate, Cynthia with the Froslass, but nothing too out of the ordinary. So not that many crazy new archetypes. This is the pure Typhlosion build. Or is it? It's actually playing a 3-3-1 line of Dragapult EX. Also Victini for more damage output. That's hilarious. More damage output with your Evolution Fire type Pokemon. If you get a couple of Victinis, you can help your damage output. And this also is playing a Bronzong, so the opponent cannot evolve, which is hilarious. So, oh dang, very, very cool. stuff over in Japan. It looks like they are, yeah, testing out a lot of different stuff. Here is a winning list for Zoroark, a very streamlined list, and having the maximum belt for more damage output. Do you need the maximum belt? Maybe. That's gonna help you out to at least use the second attack of the Reshiram for 220, which is a reasonable number. And also if you get damaged, the opponent might not even expect you to get a lot of damage output in return. So there is that. Okay, was I seeing everything here? We have Dragapult. There is a Feraligatr. We did see some Feraligatr before. It actually was able to win the Fukuoka Champions League. This is playing Rob's Cut to protect yourself from the popular Dragapult, but yeah, you do have Mimikyus, you have a Relicanth to copy-paste Croconaw or Totodale's attack, so there is a lot of playable decks still after rotation. You might think, oh, rotation is here, yeah, what are we going to be playing after rotation? There's still so many deck choices right there. We have Dragapult, Raging Bull, so those are like the best of the best, I suppose. Most of the time, these will be winning the tournament, so I wonder if we will see like Destined Rivals doing something crazy to just spice up the meta game, because currently it is also Gardevoir still doing well and Archelon, so Gardevoir still around. People were thinking like Gardevoir's out, think again. We have Brilliant Blender, Gardevoir still alive, because Gardevoir does come back with one of the most broken abilities in the entire game, with infinite energy acceleration from the discard pile. As long as Screamtail and Drifloon are still part of the squad, you're still going to be winning a ton of games. Alright, let's take a look at the next page. Are there any unique decks that we still need to take a look at? There is Crustle with Farigiraf. So we have two walling Pokemon working together here. We have the Crustle for EX Pokemon, we have the Farigiraf for the basic EX Pokemon. So it depends on the matchup, you can get these out, and with the Crispin you can get them charged up in no time. Alright, what else? We have Archelon in the Poison package. Yeah, more Garchomp. So Garchomp and Eaton's Typhlosion are like the big winners for when I first look at this. Note that we will still need to get some more Team Rocket's cards, so I don't know what that's gonna do to the meta, but over in Japan we already see that the Eaton cards are having a tiny bit of impact. Okay, we do see a Miraidon doing reasonably well, so let's see what they come back with. So we still have the generators, we have the high amount of Magaton, a 2-2 line, and there is the Tapu Koko to, is that Paralyzation automatically? Yeah, Paralyzation, so that's gonna help out. Academy at Night to help with your generators. Yeah, I haven't seen that much Miraidon in the post-rotation format, I have to be honest. Alright, moving forward. More Raging Bull, so maybe we should practice a little bit of Raging Bull, because post-rotation it seems pretty damn strong. We have a Mamoswine deck with Blaziken EX, with Luxray, with Pidgeot EX, with TM Evos. This feels like a stage 2 binder drop, but because you have the Blaziken EX, you can energy accelerate also to your Mamoswine to get it up and going. For every stage 2 Pokemon out, the Mamoswine is able to slap an additional 40 damage with a 180 damage base, and with the Mammoth Carry, you can get any Pokemon from the deck every single turn. So I wonder how good this actually will be, because it does feel kind of clunky to me. But yeah, it is a deck that was able to do really well over in Osaka. That Future box, winning a tournament, cool stuff. We didn't see that much Milotic Wall. Is that because Typhlosion is out? Does that like shift entirely? We see Gardevoir winning, another Typhlosion deck having itself. We have the Pichu here. We don't see that very often. Pichu with the zapping draw a card and slapping 30 damage. So that is definitely an option you could go for if you want to knock out the Budu, because this actual list is playing 2 copies of Rare Candy, playing a lot of items. Maybe that's an answer if you want to deal with a random Budu. Okay. Yeah, we were actually seeing some more Eaton's cards. There is Future Box, Crustle and Cornerstone into one deck. And there is the Dunsparce Great Tusk deck with Neutralization Zone that was able to get into top 4. Milling decks, is it still viable here? We have the access to the Shaymin to protect your Dunsparce from sniping capabilities of something like a Wellspring Ogerpon. Is that actually enough? Archelon and double Gholdengo. Double Gholdengo with the Eaton's Typhlosion. So this is the same list, getting 2nd and 3rd place. So this is a list that we definitely do not have to underestimate. It's been performing quite well. We see a Gouging Fire deck. It's been a while since we've seen that. having access to either Roaring Moon and Gouging Fire, and you're gonna be playing, yeah, Professor Sada in combination with Energy Switch. I don't know how to feel about that. You don't have like Magma Basin or Dark Patch, so it does feel a little bit mediocre if I say so myself. Dragapult winning a tournament, no surprise there. Gardevoir getting first and second, actually first and third at that tournament. So was it with Brilliant Blender? No, it's with Unfair Stamp. So people are adapting the research methods and leaving Brilliant Blender alone, and it seems to be working out. We have an EV box here, Sylveon EX. There is yeah, a Tapu Koko EX, and also a Paldean Tauros. Yo, this is so wild, but it seems to be working out, but I cannot trust these results all too much here. Okay, what else? Okay, Magcargo with Ho-Oh EX. Okay, this is something we really need to check out. Magcargo EX. Actually, it's not Magcargo, it's Eaton's Magcargo. This Pokemon has no energy. It has free retreat, which is awesome. And you can discard up to 5 fire energies from this Pokemon. This attack does 70 damage for every energy you discarded. Actually, every card you discarded in this way. So, you get a bunch of Eaton's Ho-Ohs in play. You charge up your Eaton's Magcargo. You blow the opponent up. All your energies are gone. And then you do it all over again because the Eaton's Ho-Oh is going to be able to accelerate the energies from the hand again, and then you blow them up again. You have the energy superior energy retrieval to make it happen. So yeah, cool to see the iteration of Magcargo as well. So Eaton has very good cards, it seems. We see Typhlosion, we see Ho-Oh, we see Magcargo. So that's very, very awesome to see. Next, we see Dragapult Crustle, also a very impactful card, it seems. Like the Crustle, definitely with Monkey Dories and the Cornerstone Ogerpon and the heal with the Poke Vital. It's gonna be a very difficult Pokemon to deal with, definitely with Mist Energies in combination as well. So Crustle, the new Mimikyu. So if you thought Mimikyu was hard to deal with, Mimikyu only has 70 HP by the way. So this is actually very hard for sure. Yeah, very hard to deal with. Charizard winning a tournament, and then yeah, Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. No, it's not Marnie, it's... What did I see here? I thought it was a Grimmsnarl, but it was an Okidogi. Okay, Okidogi, Monkey Dory, Cornerstone, Sudowoodo Trapping. Wow, this is a lot to deal with. Crispin also one of the biggest winners after rotation, sees play and a whole heap of that. And that Sudowoodo, don't underestimate that Sudowoodo. It's definitely going to be trapping some of yeah, your Pokemon, and then you lose the game. You have Hydreigon, Ferrigiraf, Zatu, Scizor. Nah. This is just a lot of one-offs. This is just for the memes because there's so many one-offs. We're not going to be taking a look at that. That's just hilarious. People, what are they doing? They're dropping their binder, they're making a deck. Another Crustle getting second place. What happened to the BDIF? Yeah, the Ogerpon box deck, the Terra box deck, whatever you want to be calling it, has been hurt so much with the introduction of Shaymin. So you still have Pikachu for the big one-shot, you have Clefairy for the Dragon-type Pokemon, Wellspring to snipe, and it's a very cool deck for sure. But can it stand up to stuff like when people are playing Shaymin? I have not seen that much Shaymin around personally, so I expected way more Shaymin, but it is not true. Is that Ancient Box? Yeah, Ancient Box, okay. 1 Artisan, Brilliant Blender, 2 Squawkabilly, not even a Turo, just going all out with the Squawkabilly. I don't know if yeah, that actually can compete with stuff like Dragapult, but people have been testing it. Yeah, Raging Bull winning Dragapult, Archelon, Gardevoir. So Gardevoir is making a name for itself because Gardevoir is still not that. Seeing so much Gardevoir around at the city leagues. Okay. Let's take a look at Miyagi. What happened in Miyagi? We see Okidogi the Dunsparce. Really, really funky. Not even using Crispin. Just classic Okidogi with Luminous Energy, Bravery Charm, Legacy Energy. But it does play EXP here. So because Lost Vacuum has rotated, if decks are not incorporating Jamming Tower, that could be very, very scary indeed. We have a combination of Eaton's Ho-Oh EX with a Raging Bolt, so you get energy from the hand to your Ho-Oh. Then you use a Sada and you're good to go. That's all you need, so no need for Teal Mask Ogerpons anymore, but that seems to be a way you could be playing, but the Teal Mask Ogerpon build has more consistency, that is for sure. Gholdengo Typhlosion. It is here to stay, folks. Not playing Energy Surge Pro, instead going for a classic route with Typhlosion as a backup attacker and a Rigged Band as well for additional defense. It does help if an Archelon uses something like a Black Belt for sure. We have Noctowl with Raging Bolt. This is probably the preferred version to be playing Raging Bolt. Did a deck profile video on the channel before. Yeah, the Ho-Oh Armor Rouge box. Love to see it. We see Bombardier EX to just have a crazy setup going. And yeah, you can power up Iron Hands. You can sometimes attack with Mew EX using the Regigigas as well. Oh, this is the deck I really want to be trying out. It looks so cool. Ho-Oh EX. Then we see the combination of Blizzy EX and Crustle in a combination of like HP buffing tools, Hero Escape, and the Luxury Escape. Okay. We've seen so many decks today, but there's just, what can we say? What can we say? Like, people are testing a lot. We see here Archelon with the Zacian. The Zacian is a Pokemon being able to, of course, slap 240, and sometimes you're walled off against something like a Cornerstone, and then that Zacian can really help out. You can also have Zacian paired up with the Hop's Choice Band and the Pickwick Stadium, allowing you to slap 300. If you then slap down Snorlax, you can even go for 330 damage output. So, scary numbers for sure. Okay, we see a Raging Bolt. We see Froslass Espatra. Alright. Espatra, a 2-2 line, Froslass, Maractus also thrown up in there, Budew, and TM Devo. I wonder how these decks keep on doing so well in these tournaments. Are like sometimes when the opponent knows what they're up against, they might know what to do. So yeah, we have another Magcargo Ho-Oh here, not gonna be in the top 4 anything, but we have the Mamoswine Dusknoir. This is very weird because Dusknoir is a stage 2, really helping out with your damage output, but you can also blow them up if you need to. Also Klinklang, if the opponent has a stage 2 in play, you can just simply slap it down on your bench as an additional stage 2. So you have Klinklang, Luxray, Pokemon that are stage 2s that you can get into play quite easily. New Upper Energy to help out with the attack effect on the Mamoswine. Cool. That was a Nara. Let me know if you've ever been to Nara before. Okay, we have Zoroark, a Zoroark deck. Looks like the most popular way to be playing and Zoroark is with the maximum belts. Also Blood Moon in the late game. Yeah, this is also a very cool deck here. It's gonna be Volcanion EX Poison Shenanigans with Iron Valiant. So pretty much this deck wants to donk. You have, you can put the opponent burned when Volcanion is in the active position. Switch around to the Peturant, have Broodwonette with the energy boost capsule onto it. You poison the opponent and then out of nowhere you can donk people. This is the donking deck. That's pretty much what it is. Is it good? Who knows? But they probably cheese out a lot of games with that. Okay. 2 more tournaments to be taken a look at today. We see Crustle and Milotic, so another walling Pokemon being released in the format. It's a very scary one. Luckily, it is weak to fire, so Eaton's Typhlosion can make quick work of it. Cynthia's Garchomp EX also sees some play if you don't know what Spiritomb does. Slaps 10 damage for each damage counter on all of your opponents. All of your bench Cynthia's Pokemon, so it also isn't affected by a weakness. So yeah, if you have a lot of damage onto your Cynthia's Garchomp, definitely with the power weight, you can then slap a lot of damage with a Spiritomb out of nowhere with a 1-price Pokemon. Seems pretty good to me. And then the last deck, actually the last tournament, actually was won by Yanmega, the Dunsparce, and the Crustle. So the Dunsparce EX as a one-off seems pretty good if you're playing the Dunsparce Draw Engine. You have the Scoop Up Cyclone and Turo to have a lone Crustle board state, and Budew to slow the opponent down as well. Seems pretty damn nice. Okay, we even have the combination of Eaton's Typhlosion and Crustle. So either you go for the aggression of the Typhlosion or you say, oh, in this archetype I can just win with a Crustle. That's also happening right there. But Vengeful Punch in the mix, Downstar, Luxury Escapes, like crazy stuff happening over in Japan. But I want to hear your opinion down below. How did you feel taking a look at all these deck lists? What has your favorite deck list been so far? Are you impressed by the cards that are being played over in Japan? Let's take a look at Pokemon proxies to just take a look at cards that are not currently in this format and that actually, yeah, they are playing over in Japan. But stuff like the Mewtwo here, is actually not playable yet. It only releases in about 3 weeks time. Same goes for like all the other Rockets archetypes, but all the other stuff here, Yanmega playable. We did see Yanmega, Yanmega was very good. Cynthia's Rosary being played less. Garchomp is being played more with Froslass. We have Shaymin. Bench protection doesn't seem that popular yet in the first couple of weeks. We see Crustle seeing some play, sometimes Dragapult for the insta one-shot, seems pretty cool. Eden's Typhlosion, the big winner here, I would say, from the Destined Rivals, also Ho-Oh's, Eden's Ho-Oh, as well as Eden's Magcargo that sees play. Misty cards seem pretty mediocre. Haven't seen any Misty cards doing well, unfortunately. What else did we see? We did see a little bit of the Eden's Sudowoodo to trap opponents with the Impound, which is crazy. We also have Cynthia's Garchomp, sometimes sees play. And that's pretty much what we had. So there's also the starting decks, Metagross, didn't see too much of that. But Marnie also saw a little bit of play. I think, is it going to be good enough to actually be a top contender in the format? Who knows? But for me, the biggest winner is the Eden package, and that's definitely going to be spicing up the metagame quite a bit. So Eden's Ho-Oh, prepare yourself, and Eden's Typhlosion being paired up in a whole different amount of decks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this run through of the sneak peek at the Destined Rivals metagame. If you enjoyed it, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways to support the channel. Also go check out the sponsors. They make the videos possible every single day. They are at the screen right now. We have dragonshield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. Use the coupon ZAPDOS5 and get 5% off your orders. TC Evolutions for your damage counters and ability tokens. Get 10% off using the coupon ZAPDOSTCG. BotanStore.com for your TCG Live code card needs. Note that you cannot craft illustration and secret rare cards on TCG Live anymore, so you will be needing some TCG Live codes to spice up your account if you want to be playing max rarity. Get 5% off using the coupon ZAPDOSTCG. There's cardmarket.com for European players where you're able to buy as well as sell cards to people all across Europe. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow for some brand new Pokemon TCG content. Thank you all very much for watching. See you tomorrow. Peace.